All right, we're back live in the flesh.
Barely, but we are.
Yeah, guys, we upgraded the studio as you guys can see. We got a sick ass soundproof wall now.
Hell yeah, Chief. It's a nice little pillow, Take a little nap right here too in case you need it. Sheesh.
Um,
Just kidding. We're not sleeping
yeah,
around
yeah.
here.
Welcome back to another episode of Money in Motion Mondays. We are back, and like we said last week, we were going to be discussing credit and just kind of tips and tricks. We're not financial advisors, so warning on that. These are just based off experiences, things we've read and researched, and things that we've either done on our own or have kind of just seen in the process.
Hmm.
But we're not giving financial advice. Just a disclaimer.
Yeah.
But
There are things that we're actively going through right now.
yeah, or just things that like we've done research and just read about
Hmm.
that from credible sources. So
Yep.
but with that being said, today's topic is about credit, credit cards, credit building, how not to get scammed. and if
Well.
and if you've been scammed, steps that you can take to start rebuilding credit. Um,
Yes.
and yeah, and if you're in debt, we can maybe give you guys some pointers on how to get out of debt. Um, but yeah, you wanna start it off?
Yeah, fuck. Well, for starters, um, I think the biggest thing that I've learned these past not just from like doing our businesses and whatnot, but
Mm-hmm.
over like the years, like I've personally experienced like getting scammed and like having
Mm-hmm.
my identity stolen, and it's a long process that I'm still actively going through. It's literally like a weekly thing, you're constantly going to be getting mail about credit cards that are trying to be opened, so like I think for starters, you need to know where your credit is. That's
Yeah.
super important. Like if you want to start, whether it's to build, to rebuild,
Mm-hmm.
you need to, the starting point is know what your credit score is, and then from there you take the next step, right? So you could
Yes.
there's a lot of free there's a lot of free
Oh,
things out
shoot.
there. Oh shoot, poltergeist over here.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're still working on the studio chat. um there is well, for example, like I have Chase, and in the Chase app there is like credit journey that's completely free where you can check your credit score, and a lot of people actually don't know about that. That's again
Yep.
completely free. There's no charge or fees or anything like that. There's Experian is free also.
Yep.
um what's the other one?
Equifax.
Yes, FICO,
Yes.
right? FICO's
FICO,
one of them.
Equifax, and I can check the other one right now.
I think there's one more. Um,
TransUnion.
that's the one.
Yeah. So the top ones, top three are gonna be Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion.
Mm-hmm.
The Chase one that he mentioned is kind of like another one, but it's more directly through your bank. Like, so
Yeah.
if you do bank with Chase, then they do offer that, which I believe other banks offer similar services of like checking your credit.
Mm-hmm.
However, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion are like the top three that you can go and get like an accurate or close to accurate credit score as
Yeah.
to where your standing
Yeah.
is.
It's never gonna be 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Also, like something that we learned is they're all kind of like gonna be a little bit different. Like nothing major, like maybe 5 or 10 points off, but for the most part, they're pretty spot on, which is obviously why they're the
Yes.
top three recommended, right? From there, then you need to know what you're gonna qualify, what you can qualify for. A lot of something that I learned with like my whole rebuild process, because my credit score dropped to like to like freaking ground zero,
Yeah.
dude. Where it's like really bad, where you, I wasn't gonna get approved for nothing, like even for like a regular like Chase Freedom credit card, like which is a starter pack
Yeah.
for for anybody that's trying to build credit.
Denied. They gave him the boot.
Yeah, they said, nah, G.
Do you remember what your credit was before you got scammed? Or like your identity
Um,
got stolen?
I think the last time that I remember was like 690. I think it was 692.
690. Which which for those of you guys that don't know credit, 690 is like fair credit. It's pretty good. I mean, you've been well, how long ago was that? Like,
Dude, it's been like it's been a
5 years?
long time, like 5 years, dude.
So it's
Been
been
like
5
5 years.
years that he's had that happen. So at that time you were 22, 23ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that age, guys, like think about it. I mean, I know some of you guys now that are maybe later 20s, maybe early 30s, you guys are thinking like, "Oh, 690." He was 22, 23 at the time, which is pretty good credit at that time, right? Like um to have 690 six like don't quote me on the range, but I think it's 650 to 6 like 90 is like
It's fair.
fair.
Yeah.
Then it's like 700 to like 750
It's
is
good.
good. And then after that it's like exceptional. Like anything after that
Mm-hmm.
like 760 or 750 plus to like the 850s is like where you have like perfect or like you're really high up there in terms of credit.
Yeah, you're in that excellent catalog for sure.
Yeah, exceptional credit. So
Yeah, so it went from that to like it was like it went down to like 350.
sheesh.
So,
Dang, really?
guys, yeah.
350? Dang, dude. That's like
Yes.
at that point just
Dude, like
delete the
there's
account.
put it
delete
this way, there's
credit.
people that are dead that have better credit than 350. You know what I mean? Like it's bad. You know, but
Yeah,
dude, this
the
person
Rockefellers have better credit than this guy, and
this person literally opened every card in existence, dude. Like, and honestly, it's crazy because like in the time, like, well, I guess I was very naive and like I kind of, I knew about credit and like the importance of it, but I didn't take it as serious, which is where I really fucked up. You know, like if I would, I know if I would have took initiative right away and put like a stop and like froze my credit and all that stuff, you know, like stuff that I knew that I know now, it would have for sure helped me a lot. But I think because I had to do like a whole police report and all
Yeah.
that stuff, I kind of just like, oh well, you know, the police are gonna handle it, which obviously it's still ongoing. I don't think it's ever getting solved, you know.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
so things that obviously like, dude, it affects everything. Like us doing the business, like we went to try to get approved for our business credit card, and then obviously like they run our credit through to see if they're gonna approve us or not.
Yes.
We the first time we didn't get approved, then the second time we went in person, I told them the situation. They helped us get through it, so you know we
Yeah,
could get approved
with
for
a
that.
super low like credit limit, but it was
Yeah.
still something to help us
Yes.
get our business credit going because for those of you guys that don't know, you have to have credit or some type of credit to open a business credit line. You don't just go in there and be like, "Hey, I have a business. This is my business information. Open a credit card with no history of credit on your business." Like
Doesn't work that
because you
way.
don't have any history of credit or like money loans or anything like that. They run your personal information to open a business credit, and then it's like an independent line now. So, but originally you open it through your own credit. So
Yeah.
because of like the situation, thankfully, like I have pretty good credit. I haven't been a victim of
Dude, yeah.
identity theft. So a combination of my credit and his credit was able to open an account. And even though it was like a pretty low amount, they were still able to open something. And something is better than nothing, you know, to get us going. And it's been a major help, right? And then like within
yeah.
6 to 12 months, you can go and ask for a credit limit increase based on like cash flow and how much money you've been using, and like they can see that if you're maxing out your card and then you're paying it off, like they'll increase your amount. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what's crazy? Also, what I think helped us get approved, not obviously your fucking great credit score, but another thing that factors into like your whole credit score, is having a history of credit. You know, which thankfully although my score was shit, I've had well two vehicles. You know, of
Mhm.
like those, not like major house payments, but it's a pretty still big purchase. You know. So I had
Mm-hmm.
the two vehicles, and then I had a previous credit card that also was paid off.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of funny because like when I look at my credit journeys, like through the whole breakdown, like my credit history is great,
Mm-hmm.
but my credit score is still like it's obviously like getting
Yeah.
up back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's something that a lot of people don't think about. Like Bruce mentioned earlier, like sometimes there's just people that have great credit, but no credit history. So sometimes they won't even approve you for certain
Mm-hmm. Because
things.
you don't, in the bank's eyes, you're not s- seen as still. There's no way for them to know if you're reliable if you haven't shown history of like paying back a big loan or paying
Mm-hmm.
back a car payment or having something of like a large amount with responsibility behind it. So when you're fresh in credit, a lot of the times it's easy to kind of get into those higher numbers because it's just like you're using your credit card and then you're paying it off at the end of the month, or you're doing the minimum payments, and you have no late payments, so your credit skyrockets because there's
Yeah.
nothing that you've had in the past to ding it.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get like more history behind it, then it's easier to leverage. Like, well, I've had two cars that I've paid off. I've had this that I've paid off. I have a mortgage. I have loans that I've taken from you guys and paid off. All that takes a factor. And like, if you then now want to take a loan for 200,000 hypothetically, right? Then they're more likely to be like, okay, you're financially responsible.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you what you're asking. There's a higher chance of it. It's not always guaranteed, but you have more leverage of like what your borrowing power is,
Mm-hmm.
and that's essentially what credit is. It's the ability to borrow money and how much. Um,
You actually make a good point. Having different credit lines open,
yeah.
like you, ideally you don't want to have like a bunch of just credit cards, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
what we mean by that is like having like a mortgage, where that's a separate credit line from like an auto loan, a
Mm-hmm.
credit card loan. Like when you have different items like different credit lines open like that, that's also plays a pretty big factor in
Yeah.
like how your credit's going to increase.
Yeah. It's called your credit mix. Essentially, it's like how well mixed you're using your credit.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're using your credit on, like, say for example, a credit card. If you do have a credit card and you have a credit account and you have an app for which whatever company, most of the time you'll be able to see your credit mix for like your transactions. So like for an example, for myself, I use my credit card for almost, I'll say like 80 to 90% of my purchases, and I pay it at the end of the month. But I use it for like gas. I use it for food. I use it for like day to day purchases. Anything related that I need to buy, I pay with my credit card because the credit card that I use on day to day basis gives me on gas 5% cash back. On day to day
Sheesh.
purchases, it gives me 1% cash back, and I think it starts at 2% up to like a certain amount. I think it's like a certain amount, and then it drops down to like 1%, and then I get like 3% cash back on food purchases. Um, so I get a lot of perks on using my credit card. So we'll kind of
Damn.
dive into that a little bit more right now, but
That's the
those are
benefit
the
of having
ways.
good credit.
Yeah, those are the ways to like mix your credit up and
Mm-hmm.
also get money back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And usually these credit companies do like end of year like checks, or they'll credit you at the end of the year, or they'll give you points or things like that. So we'll get into that in a little bit, but that's just kind of like how you can see on your app like how you're mixing it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's a really good point, actually,
yeah.
which is not for everybody.
Yeah.
So don't think you're gonna start like me, ground zero, and you're gonna get a credit card that's gonna get you all these perks. Like that's
Yeah.
something also like now. Before I had a Capital One credit card, which I was able to get like certain
Mm-hmm.
benefits like that before. Now, doing during my rebuild process, like now I have, it's a shitty credit card, honestly. Like I wouldn't recommend it, but for people that have shitty credit score that are
Yeah.
people like me, that got scammed and have to rebuild, like that's what you're gonna have to fucking settle for,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Like luckily this one I could get, it's only literally 1.5% cash back on all purchases, which I mean at
Which
least
isn't
it's
bad.
something. It's better than nothing, honestly. There's some credit cards out there that don't have any benefits that are worse.
Mm-hmm.
But and like there's gonna also be annual fees. So Most of them, honestly. When you're starting from, like, when you have really bad credit score,
Yep.
any credit card that going to get, you're most likely going to have an annual fee,
Mm-hmm.
a service fee. um, a little tip, that's good, that has really helped me also now, like with this new credit card, is you can have auto pay on it. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Bruce, I use it for gas. So if I spend $50 the start of the week for gas, as soon as I swipe it and it gets billed to my Chase account, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's automatically repaying itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm using money, the bank's money that I know I'm gonna fucking spend regardless, because I know I have that money to spend. I'm not gonna be dumb and go buy stuff that
Yes.
I know I can't afford or that I shouldn't be buying, right? Like,
Yes.
that's something that
That's rule number
that's
one.
rule number one.
That's rule way up here, like above all rules is credit. Money isn't money that you're spending that you don't have. Like you need to be spending money that you have because
Mm-hmm.
it can get really dark really fast if you are spending and you're thinking, oh, I can just pay it next month, I can pay it next week, I can pay this and this and this.
You forget about it.
You forget about it, you get a late payment, which impacts your credit score so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you do late payments and you just don't have enough money to pay back, whatever the case is, don't do that. So you want to stay in good standing as long as possible, and if that's like forever possible, then keep it that way. We're humans, we make mistakes. If you do make one late payment, in your lifetime, it's not the end of the world, but credit repayment reliability is like super super important, and that's one of the biggest things that can affect your credit score.
Yeah.
So just kind of keep
Actually,
those
I
things.
think that is. I think it's like 35 to 50%,
Yeah,
which.
payment
Sheesh.
history. That's what they look at. Payment history is one of the biggest factors that affects your credit. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Thanks.
so kind of in recap, you got scammed. You didn't really pay attention to your credit, so you kind of just like, oh, whatever about it.
Mm-hmm.
Did your police report? Didn't take the proper steps. You ended up like closing your accounts later down the road, which was
Mm-hmm.
already too late because someone took out so many credit cards under your name.
Yep.
And for those that you that don't know, like hearing, oh, they just opened a credit card under your name.
Mm-mm.
Anytime someone runs a credit line or a credit card, your credit takes a hit for it.
Every
So
time.
it's roughly about 10 points per credit run. Roughly. It can be more or less, but from my experience, that's what I've seen. It's about 10 points per time they try to open a credit line or apply for a credit line. So think about it. He went from 600 to 3 something. So
Do the
someone
math.
opened like, yeah, someone opened a cool
Dude,
like 30 to 40 credit cards.
I was
and
getting mail every week for a new card. Put it
yeah.
that way.
So super important. If you guys are ever in those situations where you get your identity stolen or you get information of that or something, instantly try to log into any of your bank related stuff and lock it. Call your banks, freeze your accounts,
Freeze
let
your
them know that
accounts.
your identity was stolen. It is gonna be like a lot of work, but
It is.
definitely call and try to figure out if you can have your name in. There's like programs I think he was using, if I'm not mistaken, where they um, check the dark web for your information and they let you know,
Yeah.
so that you get notifications if someone is trying to use your information, and it's like an extra verification, right?
Yeah, shout out to Chase. Actually, Credit Journey has that where
Yeah.
you get notifications all the time. Yeah,
Yeah. So
which is super fucking
um,
important.
again, not financial advice, but if you guys don't have something like that, um, unfortunately, we don't have any additional like resources to recommend for that. But David has used Credit Journey and he's had a really great experience with that in terms of like having his name ran through the dark web and any additional information to get like relayed to him if someone is trying to use his name.
Yeah, it'll even actually break it down. It'll show you related family that also are potential to being scammed also, which is crazy because my aunt has actually gotten scammed before, and her name also popped up
Oh wow.
on my the credit journey report too.
Damn.
So that's also something that could benefit your family, right? You know, if they pop up on that list, you can easily notify them like, hey, you know, you're a potential
Yeah.
victim, you know.
Yeah.
So then they can also take extra steps, you know, just to be cautious, you know. Like, dude,
Mhm.
it's so it, this day and age is nothing but scammers.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, freeze your accounts. I think the next step I would say that I took, well, I guess getting the card, is
Mhm.
keeping it, which kind of ties into the auto pay, is keeping your credit card usage under 30%, especially being, you know, rebuilding. You don't want to go, I would say even past, be safe and just do
Yeah.
10%, you know, like soon as, that's why I have the auto pay, right? So I'm never going to go past the 30%. Because that is another, I think it's
Well,
like
you
the
shouldn't
second.
go 30% over what your income is monthly. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Because, for example,
Yeah.
I have in one of my cards a credit limit of 20K. Imagine if I was using 30% of that a month. Yeah, I ain't making it cheap. So,
Yeah, use
um,
some common sense.
like just think of those things. Like, and that's just one of
Oh
my credit
man,
lines.
that's
Like,
hilarious, bro. That's so
I
funny.
have multiple credit cards with really high credit limits. So it's like, imagine if I was using 30% on each one of those credit cards. I don't make nearly enough to pay 30% on a 20 credit limit and say hypothetically another one that was maybe 15 or 20 and then a third one that was maybe 10. If I was using 30% on all three, I'd be broke and I would be in point of no recovery. Like the interest rates would be insane. So the rule is you should be using 30% max monthly of your monthly income on credit. Obviously, some of you guys have like different situations, and like we get it. Like if you're in California or even Los Angeles, where like we are local to, everything is super expensive. But even then, like if you're using credit and you're living check to check, you need to like restructure your the way you use your money to really either one pay off your debt that you currently have as fast as possible to be more financially free so that you can start making money work for you, or you need to just not be using credit at all if you don't have any debt, if you're living paycheck to paycheck and just live in your financial means and don't use money you don't have. You can
Which is exactly why we said earlier, you know, like spend it on stuff that you know you
mm-hmm.
need, like groceries. And I'm not talking about like going out to eat sushi or some shit. Like actual groceries that you're gonna need for your
Yeah.
house. Gas is probably the best thing that you could use it for because that's something essential, right? You need it to get to work, to go to home, to do your
Yeah.
stuff, you know. So be smart about it.
Uh-huh.
don't don't go take out a GT3 RS or anything. um,
I mean,
'ca-
I
but yeah,
mean,
so I mean, if
oh
you could
shit,
afford it,
GT3
dude,
RS. That's just.
I'm about to walk out, brother. My credit journey canceled on me.
Dude, this dude don't have the credit to even have the Hot Wheel version.
That's crazy. Oh man.
uh,
But those are things you can start doing that has helped me. I'm like up almost 100 points now. You know, I'm back. I'm almost back in the
sheesh,
600s,
hell
dude. Like
yeah.
just from
And that's
this,
just one card that he's got, dude. Like it's been a process, and honestly, I had to get
dude.
on his ass for it too because I was like, bro, with the business, we need your credit too to like run it
Yeah,
up.
dude.
So, you
And shout
know,
out to Lois.
yeah, our Chase coach from our Chase program that we do, like a mentorship program, she really helped us and sent us some
Dude,
resources.
yeah.
Um,
Came in clutch.
but yeah, guys, there's a lot of resources out there that are free that literally can help you guide you to if you are a victim of like identity theft or credit fraud or things like that to help you rebuild. It unfortunately is a lot of work, and there's only so much that
Mm-hmm.
like law enforcement or other like companies can do. It's all about the work that you're gonna put behind the scenes and like to really rebuild that. You know, if you just want to let that just kind of ride out and you don't ever want to try to fix it, then unfortunately you're going to be in really tough situations because everything out in the world and above like cash is credit related. So like buying an apartment most of the time or getting an apartment, they want to have run your credit. Then if you want to buy a car, you got to have credit. If you want to buy a house, you got to have credit. If you want to take a loan, you got to have credit. If you want to open a business, you got to have credit. Like there's so many things out there in the world that you need credit for, and like we can't stress it enough of like it's not something you can just say, it's like ruined now, I'm never going to fix it. Like there is a way to fix it. There is a way to get back on your feet. There is a way to
Mm-hmm.
find resources. There's a lot of free resources. You just got to look. And that's something that we've learned, you know, going through our business journey. It's like there's so many things out there that are free or very cheap that you can find that are really useful resources to help you learn a skill, learn how to build your credit, learn how to pay off debt better, find a professional, help you get out of like credit fraud,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So it's just a matter of you putting in that work.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what it gets everybody, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's you literally have to. I've had to call so many like different credit card companies, and like sometimes you have to go to the point where you have to physically write them or type them out and send them a letter. And obviously, like
Did you ever had to do that?
send a letter, no.
Oh, okay.
All I did was call, but dude, there was one time I waited like a whole hour
Wow.
just to get through. And it's a very long process. Then you got to fax them your police report, which don't scam them. If you have a car that just was on you, you have to have an actual police report and an actual case, an ongoing case to get that removed.
Mm-hmm.
So don't try to scam them.
Yeah, honestly, it's crazy. The credit world is insane, but there's also so many different things that you can do to use it for your benefit, um, if you use it the right way. All right, so I'll kind of go through this part, and you can add on. I have like kind of like a little PDF that I created on some research that was done on what credit is, just to kind of give you guys a start to finish of the best way to go about credit. And there's even some credit cards that we have here to recommend. Again, not financial advice. Still do your own due diligence. Look into these credit cards. See if those are the right fit for you. Everyone has a different situation.
Hmm.
Everyone needs different credit needs. So not every credit card is for someone just because it says, yeah, this is the best credit card out there. This is what everyone needs. Doesn't mean that you need that one specifically. You may
Yep,
need a different one.
that's true.
Um, so all right, let's start here. We're gonna say what is credit. Um, credit is well. I'll ask you. What do you think? What is credit? Like, what do you think? Like the credit definition is?
Well, I think it's a good way to see reliability in somebody. So, I mean, if you really think about it, it everything is built around credit.
Yeah,
Just like we've been talking about it, like you can't or open certain shit, you can't get approved for certain things.
yeah,
Like it's literally like honestly, it's kind of like your fucking blueprint, dude.
yeah.
Like if you can't even build your own credit to better yourself, these banks are going to look at you and say, why am I going to give you this loan if you couldn't even build yourself to this point? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's definitely like your blueprint as an individual.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, in other words, like in plain English, it's your ability to borrow money and prove you'll pay it back on time.
Yeah.
Simple as that, guys. Like I kind of said it earlier, is credit is you showing people, or not people, but the system, the banks, that you're someone reliable, like David was saying.
Hmm.
You get money borrowed to you in digital form or a credit card form, and you spend it and you pay it. Simple as that, right? That's like the bare minimums. Um, Now, what does credit consist of? Like we said, 35% of your credit is
Sheesh.
on payment history. Do you pay on time or do you pay late? Literally one or the other. If you pay late, your credit history is gonna tank. Your credit is just gonna tank, and that category is gonna be affected really bad. And if you pay on time, then great. That's what you want to keep. Again, if you pay late once or twice in your life, it's not the end of the world, but just really, really, really try to either one, set up auto pay so that never happens, or just
Mm-hmm.
really set reminders and be on top of your payments. I
Mm-hmm.
get it. Some of us are really, really busy and we forget things like that. I personally do not have credit auto pay on, but I have never in my 9 years of credit that I've been building missed a payment ever. But that's because I literally like I watch my credit like all the time. I'm like kind of insane of my credit. I
It's just
literally look at
paranoid.
it. Yeah.
That's good though. That's what you
Yeah.
should be, you know, like
That
I think that's you need to be to the point where you're checking it honestly like well I check honestly like every freaking day but because of my situation you know
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but you should be at that point where you're at least checking it like once a week dude
Yeah. You're
honestly.
checking what you need to pay and stuff like that. And because when I spend, like I was saying earlier, is when I use my credit card, I'll either pay it that same day right away or I'll pay it at the end of the week.
Hmm.
Or sometimes I'll do like bi-weekly. Like I know when my statements close, so I'll pay it. Like okay, I need to pay my whole thing by
That's
the end of
important.
the end of this date or before this date. So super important. Payment history
Hmm.
35%. Next, it's going to be credit utilization. So kind of what we were saying earlier, the credit mix on how you're using it. Um, you want to be under 30%, which is considered good. Excellent
Hmm.
is under 10%. So again, like I was saying, keep your expenses really, really tight. You want to be under 10% credit utilization month to month. And if you exceed that, that's okay. You just want to make
Hmm.
sure that you're paying it down to at least 10% minimum by the end of the month if you, for whatever reason, can't pay everything off. But if you
Yeah.
can, always pay everything off 100%.
Hmm.
Length of credit history is 15%, so that is a smaller chunk of your what your credit is built on. However, it's still important, right? You want to just have credit lines open. You never want to try to close a credit card account. If you just are not going to use it, don't use it. Some cards, in from what I've seen, if you don't ever like access it, you just completely go cold turkey on it and don't use it for a really long time. They sometimes do auto close it or send you like information is like, are you still using this account? But for the most part, it just stays open and
Hmm.
then that's it. You just don't use the card.
Yeah.
Um, but length of credit history is just how long you've had credit for, and it's a combination of all your accounts that are open. So your oldest account and your newest account, and then it like averages it out.
Hmm.
Um, and then credit mix. So again, it's the credit cards, auto loans, student loans, mortgages, your gas, your food, like things like that, all mixed. If you're using like one general card for all those things, then that's gonna create your credit mix, and it's a 10% of your entire um, credit report. And then lastly, it's your new credit and your inquiries. So 10%. Applying for lots of credits at once lowers score short term. So like I was telling you guys earlier, when we or David let you guys know when we applied for our business credit card the first time online, with a combination of my credit and his credit because he had like really really bad credit, we actually got declined even though I had a over 700 credit score. We got declined and then we waited a year and then we applied again and we got approved. But because we applied and got denied, I took a 10-point ding on my credit, and I'm pretty sure
I
you did
I
as
think I
well.
got like negative 20. I'm
Yeah,
just playing.
I got a
Yeah.
negative 10 plus the second time when we applied and got approved. That was another 10 we still got
Yeah.
dinged for because they still ran our credit.
I've always got 10 points off too.
Yeah, so that was a total of 20 points that were taken off my credit for the one time we got approved. So all in all, that's gonna add up to 100% credit percent of what affects your credit. So super super important to think about those things, y'all, when you guys are applying, using, paying back, or just trying to close credit cards, think about those things. Just be very,
Mm-hmm.
very careful, and how much you're using. Um, Lastly, um, we'll go into how to build credit from scratch or rebuild. So step by step process will be like start with one or two accounts. Um, I would personally recommend, not professional advice, but stay away from those like shopping center ones, like credit cards. Like when you go to
Macy's.
Hollister or Macy's or things and they say you want to apply for this credit card, or Best Buy, like you don't necessarily want to have those credit cards because they necessarily don't give you any benefits besides the temporary 10% off, 50% off if you open a credit card right now kind of thing.
And that's a
Um,
short term one
yeah, it's a
too.
super short term one. You want to get a credit card like how he was saying, a starter one that is going to give you some better benefits, like some cash back permanently, some travel points, something that you can utilize, longer
Yes.
term.
Yeah.
Um, you use it monthly, slightly, right? You're going to pay it off in full every month. That's going to definitely help you boost your credit. Automate your payments. So, like David mentioned earlier, automating your payments, so auto pay is gonna boost your credit a little bit because it shows that whatever you're spending is gonna automatically get paid off. So that's a little bonus for you guys.
Free
Um,
tip.
Free tip that are trying to build credit, and don't want to forget to pay your credit card. Just turn that on, set it up, and that helps you out.
Oh, there's actually one that I did that I did read about. If you are under 18, so anyone that's under 18 that wants to get the jump, like a head start in front of everybody, you can actually be a co add-on to somebody's credit line.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you have say your dad has fucking great credit, right? They can add you onto like their same credit card for like
Yeah.
credit usage or whatever. I didn't read super deeply into it, but you could do that. That can also help jumpstart you and get you
Yes.
just ahead of the game, dude. So anybody
Yes.
that's underage that can't apply for a credit card yet.
Yes. Even if you're overage too, you can do it.
Oh yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah.
I actually, good thing you brought that up. I actually opened a card like that with my mom. I already had my own credit card at the time. But the one that we used was a Citibank card with her Costco membership, because I wanted to start going to Costco without her, or
Mm.
like on my own. I didn't, want to rely on her always having to be with me. And so she opened a like, I forget the proper terms for it, but essentially like an account, a sub account that was authorized user.
Yes.
And so
It's
I
cool.
got the membership for Costco with her plus credit, and then it was just like attached to her credit. So I was piggy banking off her great credit already, which my mom has really great credit. So it already kind of bumped me up. Additionally, I had my own credit card on the side, so like those two were like, okay, I have two credit lines already. And then eventually, like after a year of being with her, we called back and I asked them if I can get removed and have my own credit line with that bank, and they just like created my own account for
That's
me.
super dope.
So yeah, it was super sick because I then automatically, based off like my mom's credit limit and then like my spending, they were able to give me like a higher credit limit, which is not always great, like to really have high credit limits. Like that's not like a, oh my god, like you owe, like a end
No,
of the
that you know
world
what though?
thing.
That's something to be proud of, dude. Like if you started from here and now you just knowing the fact that you get approved for that, I like obviously don't spend it like you were saying
Yeah.
earlier. But I that is like a huge step, where I think you should be proud of that to just know the fact that you're building enough trust to get approved for that much.
Yeah. So it's super cool. Like if you guys are scared, you guys can definitely ask your parents if they're willing to have you piggy bank off their credit,
Yeah.
open a sub account with you in there, and then yeah. The only downside I would say is that like if you are more independent and older, they do have access to like all your transactions or whatever you're spending your money on. They'll be able to see that because they are the primary owner on that account. Um,
But who cares,
I
dude?
mean, I don't
Just
care, but I know some people are like maybe super weird about it. I literally don't buy dumb shit, so it didn't really
yeah.
matter for me.
Damn, free game for y'all, dude.
Yeah. All right, so now we're gonna get into some cards that I have here. Again, these are not gonna be potentially the best cards for you, but these are some top rated cards that we've done like some research on. And I've just heard about as well. And I also have one of these cards, which is actually the first card on here that I was talking about earlier, which is so the first card that says best overall cashback card is the City Double Cash credit
Mm.
card. That's the one that I mentioned to you guys earlier, where I get 2% cash back on every single purchase. I
Sheesh.
get 5% cash back on gas and like all these other benefits on there. You guys can look that card up and look at all the benefits and see if that's some card that you guys want to apply for. This is not a sponsored video at all. They should sponsor us though, but um, that's just a card that I use and has been honestly great to me, and is giving me like a great credit limit on there. Um, so yeah.
That's dope. That's a
There's
good
no,
ass
I
one.
get no annual fee on there as well, which is a huge, huge bonus because if you could save an extra $35 or a month or like an annual fee, which sometimes for some cards can be like pretty expensive, like $800 that I've seen on some
Dude, yeah.
cards, or even like $150. $150 is
Dude.
$150, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So if you
dude.
could save that, even if it's $50, $50 is $50.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there was no annual fee for me. I get cashback rewards, and then at the end of every single year, I get a check and I just go collect it, and that's it. So super sick, honestly. Um, Second is a beginner card, which is a discover cashback
Mm.
card,
That's a
which
really
is
popular one.
yeah super super popular one. Um, it gives 5% rotating categories, cashback match first year, no annual fee, and excellent customer service is what they promote. Um, so again, you want to be looking for cards that give you something in return for using their cards. If you're using a card that has no benefits to it and you're paying a fee to it, run, turn and run, because that's not the card you want to be
Yeah.
using.
Unless you're
Um,
in my type of
Unless you're in that
situation,
in a
you don't have a
situation, yeah,
choice,
where you're
dude. Deal with
rebuilding.
it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really have that
You
many
don't deserve
options.
it,
Yeah, you
honestly.
don't have
You
many
don't.
options.
Yeah.
Another card that I hear a lot of good things about as well is the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. I hear a lot of things about it because you get travel and dining rewards. You get transfer points to airlines and hotels, strong travel
Sheesh.
protections, and um, you have an annual fee, but you have a high value for it. So again, you get travel and dining rewards, you get airline and hotels, and then you get strong travel protection. So this is gonna be more tailored to people that travel because you get those
It's travel
perks.
points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
travel points, travel perks. Versus the other two that I mentioned, it was just more for like you're not traveling and you're just doing day to day spending and you're paying it back month to month. That's an easy way to have your money work for you and get
Mm-hmm.
money out of the banks. Um,
Yeah, don't get a traveling card if you're not gonna be traveling, because there's just no return in there.
Yeah. So now we're getting into like more of a higher end card, which these are all arguable. Some of you guys may say other cards are better than these ones that I'm mentioning here, which is fine. I'm sure there is other cards that are out there. This is just kind of just quick research that we did. But I have heard also, and I've done research. I don't have this card, but I think in the future, once I start traveling more, I do want to get this card, and it's gonna be the American Express Platinum card. Um,
Yeah.
it's you get airport lounge access, you get travel credits, and then you get elite status perks. You do have a high annual fee, which if I'm not mistaken, I was literally looking at this card because I was thinking of applying for it like last month, but I was like, dude, I'm not even traveling like that. I'm not gonna get it. But it's kind of a flex, not gonna lie. When
Next year.
when you have those cards, like it's kind of cool. Um,
It is.
but it does have a high annual fee, and if I'm not mistaken, I saw the fee was like $800 or $900. It was like 895 or something like that annual fee, which is kind of crazy to be paying for a card. Um, but like mentioned, it's worth it if you travel a lot because the perks, the $800 that you pay, you essentially get like double that back if you use it to the max capacity. Like I was doing a bunch of research on it, You get a bunch of rewards. You get like Uber benefits. You get like Uber Eats benefits. They give you like one free meal a month.
Damn.
They literally give you ten
Free
dollars a month
smokes.
to do Uber Eats, like to
Damn.
order a food and stuff. It's crazy. They give you hella perks, but again, you gotta know how to use credit cards correctly to get the
Mm-hmm.
benefits out of them. Don't go apply for these cards that we're mentioning if you're not gonna use it for the perks, because and then it's just either monthly fees or annual fees wasted, and you're just get wasting money, like, which we're trying to prevent, giving you guys these tips and tricks, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I think going on to the next thing is where you're standing, right? Are you in debt or are you not in debt, right? If you're in debt, you should first of all not be applying for any credit cards or additional credit cards. You need to start figuring out how you can pay down your debt and what methods you want to use.
Right. And bad debt.
Bad debt, exactly.
Bad
So
debt. Ugh.
credit debt is bad debt. And you do not want to have that kind of debt. Um, I think there's two ways or three ways you can kind of go about um, when you're in debt, and if you've been just very irresponsible with spending money, and or maybe you had a family emergency and you put it on a credit card, which life happens, right? And then you realize, damn, I have a 29% interest rate on this card. How am I going to pay down X amount when I'm getting 29% interest rate tacked on top of this X amount, which depending on the amount can be a lot. You can be paying like double payments essentially. So the first thing you want to do is figure out which option will be the best for you, which is usually there's a method called the avalanche method or the snowball effect method.
Mm-hmm.
So the avalanche method is going to be the method of you are being really aggressive with your payments and you're trying to pay minimum payments towards whether it's just one card, two cards, three cards, whatever amount of cards you have, pay the minimum and then pay an additional um payment towards one card and start eliminating some debt.
Yeah.
Next, it's going to be the snowball effect, which this is where I think kind of helps some people. Well, let me backtrack. The the extra payment that you're doing on the avalanche method, you want to be putting it towards the credit card that has the highest credit or sorry,
The highest
APR.
amount.
Highest amount and highest APR interest, because the APR interest is what's going to be really eating you alive.
Yeah.
So you want to try to pay that card off first. Um, then once you pay that card off, then you go to the next highest, and then the second or third highest, and then the fourth highest, and so on and so on how many cards you have open with recurring balances. And then eventually you'll end up paying your debt. But it comes with discipline, right? You got to be very disciplined. You got to be very responsible. You got to ensure that you stop going out. You stop spending money on things you don't need. You start meal prepping at home or eating at home, and you start canceling those subscriptions. You start being very, very aware of where your every dollar is going, and you're not doing extra spending on anything you don't need. You should literally just be surviving on your rent if you have rent, your vehicle expense if you have a vehicle expense, and your like essential stuff like your food and your things that you need to like live off of, and that's about it. Anything extra outside of that, you got to cut it out when you're really serious about paying off debt.
Yeah, you gotta live very minimal.
But yeah,
You have to
super
be okay
minimal.
with that.
And you got to be okay with potentially not buying clothes for a few months, right? Or a year or something like that, you know?
You know how old this shirt is? I had the same 5 pack of black shirts for like the whole year.
Yeah. So I know some of you guys are really flashy and want to like impress people and things like that. And we live in a world where style and fashion is super important, and it's status. But if if you're out of your financial means, you gotta be able to cut that out. And if people are judging you because you're genuinely trying to pay down debt, and they're like, "Oh, dude, you're wearing the same shoes, you're wearing the same shirt, you're wearing the same fit 4 or 5 times a month," like, dude, fuck them. Like, you gotta cut those people
Yeah,
out of your life, because those are the same reasons. Those are the same people have been reasons why you are
in the
in the
situation.
situation, and like they're not supporting you. Then damn, like those are not real friends. So
Yeah, respectfully, peace, homie.
yeah, lock in and figure out your shit. So next is gonna be the snowball method. this is the method that a lot of people say that gives people motivation and like keeps them optimistic on their situation no matter how bad it is. And that's because you pay the smallest balance first, which is, say you have a card with $2,000 in debt or balance, and then you have another card with $8,000 in balance.
Mm-hmm.
You want to pay the $2,000 first while still doing the minimum payments for the highest balance. Once you pay off one card, you're gonna feel good, like, damn, I really did that. I was able to get out of one card. Now I can put an extra X amount on top of
Mm-hmm.
my already minimum payment and pay that down slower. And as I make more money or whatever, I can pay it off faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that psychologically tricks people into feeling like they're accomplishing
Yeah.
something, even though they're small wins. But it really tricks people into doing that. For
Oh
an
yeah.
example, you guys heard how excited David was about getting back on track of like his credit, the 100 points he's built, all these things that he was saying. It took work behind the scenes, but as he starts seeing those like the things stacking on top of each other of like wins and wins and wins, he's like feeling better about it. And now he's just like, damn, I'm getting credit back. I can do this, that, like that, you know?
Dude, it's so crazy, dude. Like it that's why it's called the snowball effect, right?
Yeah.
You take your little wins, and you check your freaking history every single day or every day. You see the points go up. You see, oh damn, okay, 5 points here, 5 points, 5 points, 5 points. That thing, that payment eliminated, dude. Like it just opens up your world, dude. So
Yeah.
I would
So
say that's honestly the best method. That's a
I
good
I
one.
was I would say arguably based off things that I've read and seen, a lot of people say snowball method is the most commonly used and most effective as well. However, like we said, different methods for different people and their situations. So depending on
Yeah.
which one fits you the best, use that one.
Hmm.
Um,
That's a good one.
Step number three, stop the bleeding. Right? I kind of already mentioned it, but you need to pause new credit card spending and switch to debit or cash temporarily. I think one thing you guys really need to do if you are in debt and you're struggling to pay it back and you're trying to figure out a strong way to get it back is write down your expenses separated by needs and wants. If it's a want, take it out. If it's a need, leave it in. Take out all your money in cash. If you're not if you're having trouble of like swiping your card even though it's a debit card or a credit card, like stop using debit cards. Start using any type of cards. Take them out of your wallet. Leave them at home. So anytime you go out and you're gonna give yourself an X amount of money per month, then you only have that in cash. And once you run out, you run out, right? Have the rest of the money in a separate bank where there's least locations or less locations so that it becomes almost an inconvenience for you to make that extra trip to go take money out of the checkings or savings account. I
Hmm.
think that's a really strong strategy that a lot of people don't talk about is and don't think about sometimes is I did that strategy when I was like way younger and I was trying to save money is I opened a bank account or a savings account, only a savings account. It wasn't even a checking account. I just opened a savings account at a bank where there was only one in like the whole city, which was well, at least where we live, and it was a US bank. And
Oh
there's only
shit.
one like all the way in Silmar. And for me, it was inconvenience. Like anytime I thought about taking money out, I was like, dude, I gotta drive all the way over there, take money out if I really want to. So I never took money out. So, and
That's
still to
smart.
this day, I still have it. So, I never go over there because I'm just like, it's just way out of my way,
Hmm.
and I never want to even go over there. So just
Dude,
a little hack for you guys, like
yeah.
create an inconvenience for yourself so that it's harder for you to get access
Hmm.
to that money. Because the easier you have access to it, the easier it is going to be for you to spend it, which is why you've spent money already that is
Hmm.
out of your means.
And if you're too lazy to write it, dude, in your every at least for Chase, in your account, it breaks everything down for you. Like it'll
Mm-hmm.
split everything within food category, groceries, gas, utilities, and bills. It
Mm-hmm.
literally splits it all up for you so you can see where you're spending your money at.
Yeah.
And dude, it's just look at it. And then you'll get an idea of like where you're actually spending and like, oh shit, I didn't realize I was eating out this much or I didn't realize I was just driving for no reason and spending this much money on
Mm-hmm.
gas. So like little things like that. If you're not going to, like Bruce said, write it down.
Mm-hmm. Um. Again, another hack is if you are in debt, you want to try to negotiate and optimize your APR that you have with these credit lines or credit cards. A lot of you guys may not know this, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes, if you have had a long credit history with a credit card, you can call them and let them know, hey, like I'm having financial hardship, or hey, like I've been a loyal customer with you guys for a really long time. Is there any way that I can reduce my APR from a 29% to like a 15%? Yeah,
Yeah.
15% is really high still, but it's better than paying 29% on your total amount. So
Dude, yeah.
it's very rare for them to reduce it, but it's an option and it doesn't hurt to try. It can literally be a 10-minute phone call, 15-minute phone call, 30-minute phone call that
Mm-hmm.
can save you hundreds or even thousands depending on your credit um debt that you have.
Actually, I you can also I did that like for my second car. My second car, I got it. I had no cosigner or anything like that. So it was I had a higher APR, which was like 9%,
Mm,
which is pretty fucking high still. But then 6 months later, I called them, I refinanced, and I got it down to I think it was 4 or 5%. So,
see.
dude, think about that. It doesn't sound like a lot, but 4% difference, X amount of payments that you make is actually a lot of money.
Yeah,
My
over
payment dropped like $100.
yeah, see, imagine over a year you're saving 1,200 bucks towards an extra two payments you could do to your car.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah,
if you do an
straight
extra
up.
two payments a year to your car, you're cutting off 2 months, a year. So it's like you can pay your car off depending on your term, maybe a year. So you're saving on interest regardless at the end of the day. So think about those things. All right. So in addition to and automating payments, so that way you never forget a payment. Um, Once you pay down a credit card, it's not the mentality of I have X amount of money now because I paid one card off to spend and continue with the same amount that you've been paying on the second or third credit card. It's that extra money that you just freed up needs to get funneled right back into the other payment. That's how it needs to work until you're debt free. So, for example, you're paying 300 on one card and then 200 on another card. Once this $300 payment frees up, that 300 now gets added onto $200 payment, and now you're paying $500 biweekly or monthly onto that card,
Mm-hmm.
and you pay it down X amount of months faster, so that you have less debt. You know, you're saving interest, you're saving on long term of being debt free, right? So, and then the sooner that you could become debt free, the faster that you could really start investing into your real life goals, like buying an investment property, buying something that really adds value and asset to your life versus just paying monthly payments of to a credit company that is just taking your money, doesn't do anything for you. And lastly, last step is going to be try to build an emergency fund while paying debt. I know this sounds kind of ironic because you're paying debt and we're saying, hey, still try to save money on the side. If I'm already living paying a paycheck to paycheck, this is where, the reality of things is going to be you got to really figure out your expenses. And again, either writing them down number by number, expense by expense, to really figure out and see where your money is getting funneled to and where you're expending on your money. And two, for emergencies in terms of like save $1,000, like saving 20 bucks a paycheck, 50 bucks a paycheck, right? Instead of eating out to sushi or going out with friends and spending $100 of drinks, whatever the case is, don't go out and do those things. Save your money so that way, if for whatever reason 1 month you get less hours at work, you have something go on, you have at least $1,000 to pay towards your credit payments. Because the moment you start missing payments, you start getting late fees added. Dude, there's a
Dude,
whole
late fees
nother
are
world
expensive.
added onto that, and you do not want to get into that situation where there's late fees and you just have bad credit now because you didn't pay on time and all these other things. So all in all, summary, credit golden rules is going to be pay on time every time,
Mm-hmm.
keep utilization under 30%. Ideally, you want to be under 10, right? So 30 is considered good, 10% is excellent. Don't max out your cards ever. Don't close old accounts if unnecessary. Treat credit like a weapon or a tool, not a toy. So you want to use it for the benefits that we mentioned that some of these cards offer, not as a toy of like, oh, I got a $7,000 credit limit. Let me go swipe $7,000 for a Gucci belt,
Go buy
some
some new
Prada
wheels.
shoes, some new wheels for a car. Let me go do this and that. Let me go spend money on something that I can't afford, or let me just go show off on some girl that I don't care about. So, or a guy. Think about those things when you guys are really spending money. Honestly, like this is bigger than just you. It's about
Mm-hmm.
your livelihood and the importance of being responsible with your money and ensuring that you are having the money work for you, right? You don't want to be a robot for the rest of your life and just making payments month to month to month to month and feel like you're never getting anywhere and you can never really invest in yourself because you got these really high APR cards that you're trying to pay off over 10 to 20 years, which, for example, just kind of throw a number out there, like maybe rough numbers, but if you have like a $10,000 debt and you're paying, I don't know, like a maximum credit limit or credit APR over, they usually do it like over a 30 or 10-year term is how they do the minimum payments for you guys. You'll end up paying like double or sometimes even triple the $10,000 that you originally own. So if you owe $10,000 on a credit card and you do minimum payments, paid off in 10 years or 15 or 30, you pay like legit another $10,000 on top of that. So imagine you spent $10,000 just to pay 20 back. That's insane. Imagine what you guys can do with 20K. That's like a
Mm-hmm.
down payment to a house, down payment to other things. Put it in the
Some brand
stock
new
market,
car.
brand new car. Like it's insane. So just kind of to put perspective into you guys,
Mm-hmm.
if you guys do have debt right now, we're not completely shitting on you guys. We're just trying to get you
I
guys on
am.
game on how
Just kidding.
to
I'm just playing.
how to get out of the situation and make you guys understand of like there's importance behind it. These are tips and tricks on how to get out of it. And hopefully you guys learn something from this moving forward. Get yourself out of debt. If you were in debt once or twice and got out of it, let us know in the comments what you did to get yourself out of it. Was it hard? Was it easy? How's your journey?
Actually, one thing before too we close out. If you, because I know there's gonna be some of you guys are saying, dude, I'm doing everything I possibly could already. I'm maxed out. Like trying to save, but I just don't make enough, and I'm not even buying bare minimum Maruchan soups or some shit. Because I know there's gonna be some of you guys out there that are doing the most to get to
Yeah.
this to the next place, right? That's where you need to take initiative and either get a second job to make more money to fund that stuff or start asking for more hours, because I know damn well there's a lot of you guys that are okay with just working 8 hours, going home. Like, they ask you to stay overtime, you don't want to stay overtime. They ask you to work, pick up an extra shift. I know a lot of you guys do not want to do it because I see it every
Yeah.
single day at work. So if you're to the point where you're maxed out and you think you can't
Facts.
put money aside to save, or you
Yeah.
could barely make your payment and shit, well, that's when you
Yeah.
need to start fucking taking initiative and just put in more work at your job or get a second job.
Sheesh.
Sorry.
Trust in David.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but that's some real shit right
It's
there.
the truth
That
though. It's
that's
the
the
truth.
hard truth that a lot of you guys don't want to hear. Is like comfortability isn't gonna get you out of that situation.
Mm-mm.
You got to get a second job, third job, whatever. I've known people that literally have two jobs. They're working overnight and day, or they're working
Yeah.
literally 14 hours in one day to just provide and pay certain things off. And those are things that like you want to be doing if you really feel
Mm-hmm.
like you're in that situation. If you're at home sleeping 10 hours a day, working 6 at
Bro,
work, leaving early, calling out, like hell no, you're not you no, you better double down on yourself and start getting your shit together.
dude,
And
don't
we're not
even
trying to
mention
completely
that.
shit on you guys, but we kind of are at the same time if you
Nah,
are
we
doing
are.
that, because you guys need to hear the hard truth. So this is your wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
Get off your ass, get to fucking work, go put a double shift, go put a triple shift. Do what you have to do to get out of work, get out of your debt. If you have debt, stop making excuses. Those excuses aren't gonna pay your debt. So if you want a better life for yourself and your family or whatever, start fucking working. Like that's the easiest and simplest solution. There's so many jobs out there, and I am tired of also hearing there's no jobs out there.
They're
Dude,
taking their jobs.
shut up. Like, dude, there's so many jobs out there. Literally, like, we gave an entire podcast last week. So if you haven't watched that one, go watch that one of what we would do if we woke up with nothing and if we had $1 million. And if
Yeah.
watch that first half of waking up with nothing, what we would do. Picture yourself in that situation right now. You're waking up with nothing every single day because you owe money. So technically you own nothing. So put yourself in that mentality and get to fucking work.
Yep.
Until you have zero debt, fucking put your head down, stop going out, stop buying drinks, stop doing all that bullshit, and that's it.
Stop drinking.
And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and go fix your credit if you have bad credit. And if you have great credit, keep that shit up. Start investing and do some research on how to make money work for you, how to make these companies give you all these benefits. And so that way, for some of you guys that already have some of these credit cards, some of you guys, and I mentioned this earlier before we close out, these travel cards, people don't take vacations because they say it's so expensive. But if you use a travel card correctly, you could literally fund yourself with the points they provide you with a whole trip paid for. So do your own research. We're going to end it here. Like, comment, subscribe.
Let us know your stories too. I'm
Let it-
actually curious to see if anybody can relate and has like their own personal growth story.
Yeah. Let us know the stories. Let us know if you've ever been a victim, like David has been.
Hit me up.
What your tips and tricks were to get you out of that situation. Maybe David can use some.
Yeah. Or I could give you some too, you know.
Or we can
yeah.
reply to you guys. But with that being said, we're closing out. Stay tuned. Money in Motion Mondays. Peace.
Cut. Hey, yo, shout out. Inicio. I'm gonna need another one.